Greetings, my fellow gamers. It is I, Wraith, bringing you news from beyond the mirror from the other world. And today we are talking about gold. This subject was opened by someone that left a comment in my last video. They said, can you make a video telling us how you collected your gold and how you farmed your gold? Because he noticed I had a lot of awakened equipment and I had a lot of gold. And the reason I have all that is because I saved up gold. And I I just didn't really farm. Well, you know what? Yeah, I did farm. It was a very interesting farm I did. Now, first thing you want to know is cash rush tokens. Now, I know what you're thinking right away when I say cash rush tokens. You're probably thinking, yeah, he probably just bought a whole bunch of those golden gems that give you a ton of gold by selling them. And yes, that is what I did. What I did is after I got a ton of cash rush tokens, I know they cost like 15 each, but my guild is really, really good. And that's another thing you need to know. If you want to have a lot of gold and you want to have a lot of resources, be sure you have a great guild and you work with your guild every day, because you'll be getting a lot of gold and a lot of, tokens and a whole bunch of rewards simply by helping your guild. And if they have a high rank like mine does, you'll get a huge rewards for it. So be sure you have a good guild if you want to farm a lot of gold and gems. So on that note, this is capitalist, of course. And every time I go here, I complete a run and I get a whole bunch of, as you can see, everybody's getting 14 million, 10 million, 8 million. I'll probably get around 8 or 9 million. I don't know if I'll get up to 10. But anyways, aside from how powerful I am, I'm just kidding. I actually suck on this game. I'll be completely honest with you. I really do suck. Although I do have a lot of equipment, I really do suck. But anyway, aside from my terribleness at video games, if you want to get gold and you want to use that gold to level up your equipment, the first thing you need to do, as I said, is farm those little golden gem things. Buy them with your cash rush tokens, and after you buy those, be sure you sell them, and then you'll be able to upgrade your equipment, a lot of your equipment, and then you'll be able to evolve them. I know that's a lot of gold in itself, and it took me a lot of gold just to get what I have here, but might I make a suggestion? While you're upgrading your equipment, this is very important. I know it's off, so this is very, very important. While you're upgrading your equipment, don't go the random route, because there's an option. I think I mentioned this in a few videos ago. There is an option where you'll be able to upgrade your original 6-star equipment to a random awakened equipment. Now, I don't recommend that. The reason is you could have a 6-star Knights item and you'll get an awakened equipment that isn't even a Knights item. It might be just a regular old item, and that item will be a lot weaker than the awakened 6-star Knights item. So I recommend, although it's more expensive, I recommend simply evolving your item to the better version of it, the awakened version, if you have a Knights item. If it's just, I don't know, if it's just some weaker item, like, let me give you an example. Let me see. If it's a weaker item like this right here, if it's a weaker item like that, then you probably would be better off just getting the random version of it. Just doing the random option and getting a random awakened material. After you +5 it, you'll be able to have it, as I said, you'll have a decision between evolving this one or doing kind of like a random thing and getting a random awakened material. I recommend that for the weaker items. But if you're not better item, pardon me, if you have an item like a 7 Knights item, I recommend simply evolving this one, because you don't want to take a chance of getting a weaker item. So I know that's expensive, and that's a lot of gold. That means you need to save up a lot of gold. It's over 1 million if I'm correct. I believe there's a certain deal that every week or so, I think it's about every week, that it doesn't cost over 1 million to evolve your item. It costs like 800,000, and that's still a lot. I know they cut it in half every once in a while, like I said, but it's a lot less than over 1 million. Here we go. Here's the option. You can either upgrade the option right here. See, that costs 800,000 gold. There's the deal right there. I think it happens every week or so. They give you, they cut it in half. They cut the price in half to like 800,000. But it's originally around over $1 million to upgrade your equipment like this to its original awakened form. And then there's the option of giving you, it costs 2,000. I guess they cut that down a little bit, but 200,000 rather. The 200,000 one is, like I said, I probably wouldn't recommend this one because you might have a certain character that needs attack speed, and then you might end up getting something that doesn't grant attack speed. Instead, it gives like weakness or critical rate, and you don't want that. You want to keep the attack speed. So I wouldn't recommend doing this one. I really wouldn't recommend doing it, especially if you really need attack speed. You don't want to take the chance. You might end up getting the item you actually wanted, but there's a very low chance of that. So I wouldn't recommend this one. Just do a more expensive one. But be sure you save up a lot of gold. You should actually have a lot more gold than I have right now. The over $1 million, you should have a lot more than that to awaken your items to their true form. But hoarding gold can be a little difficult, and as you can see, it can be very expensive to awaken your items and gain like some really, really powerful stuff. I know it costs over 200,000 to awaken to a random item, but as I said, I wouldn't recommend that. It's cheaper, but if you want to go that route and you just want the extra strength, you can go ahead and do that, because if you're just looking for power and you don't really care about attack speed or critical rate, then I would recommend doing that. But I kind of don't really think you should do that, because attack speed applies to a lot of characters and it really, really works with characters. And if you don't want to get rid of your attack speed, in which I would highly recommend keeping your attack speed items, because you can do a whole bunch of critical damage in arena. I mentioned this before. You can do a whole bunch of critical damage and do a whole bunch of weakness, but if you're not fast enough to take down your opponent, you're gonna lose. So attack speed is very, very important. So keep your attack speed items. Try your best not to awaken your items to something random, because it will give you something random. And luck is never on my fellow gamers. But yeah, that's how I got my awakened items, is simply by upgrading them. And it took a while, because as I said, 800,000 or over $1 million is a lot to get their true form. But it did take me a while, but all I did was hoard gold through Castle Rush. And that's not all I did. Sometimes I used to go to adventure mode and just play missions over and over again and try to complete some of the achievements that it gave me. Like, let me give you an example. I like to complete these as much as I can. I don't know what all of them say, I'll be completely honest with you, but I just try to translate them. But when I do, I do them as the fastest way I can. This is another good way to hoard gold, because they have a lot of gold. As you can see, 70,000. 100,000. They do give you a lot of gold, and they even give you some upgrading material as well. So that's very, very good. There are a few other missions, such as the daily missions, that do give you a lot too. But I would recommend doing. I forgot to collect my. Why am I on gold here? Hang on a minute. I used to be Pearl. Oh wait, I think that's because I was being lazy. That's completely my fault. I should have been on Pearl a long time ago. I was too busy focusing so much on Castle Rush and this tower mode thing. The tower mode, I just completely forgot. But anyways, ignoring that, but if you hoard a lot of it, and that's another thing, another way you can get gold, is tower mode. Now I know some of these levels can get a little difficult, but with hard work and upgrading your equipment, you'll be able to do a lot here, and when you progress, you get a lot of gold. As you can see here, that's over 500. That's a lot of gold, and you get a whole bunch of gold and gems alike here. So this is a perfect place to farm gems, but you have to be strong, my fellow gamers. If you're going to do it, you have to be very strong. So be sure you have good equipment before you go here. My recommendation: I probably wouldn't recommend all the way equipment, especially if you're all the way at the bottom here. I wouldn't recommend all awakened equipment. Just probably +5 all your equipment, and then after you start seeing 6-star characters, after you start fighting 6-star characters, then I would recommend +5ing awakening your characters. material. But then after that, you probably would recommend just it depends on who you're using. Like after I started using Lee a lot, I was stuck on a level, but after Lee was released, he was really helping me out because he drops characters' health down to 0 and to 1 rather, and that's really helpful. Like say you're fighting something that has a lot of HP and you just don't have the means to take it down, Lee will drop the HP down to 1, no matter who they are. Now that is a very good character to use in Tower, but I'm not entirely sure. I think they might develop an immunity to that later, but I don't know. Haven't made it too far because I know they develop an immunity to that in the special dungeons, the elemental dungeons. I know they develop in that to Lee's drop HP down to 1. Yeah, that's a good way to hoard gold right there too. As for gems, just play in arena a lot, and just make sure you have a good guild that so you can get a lot of good rewards from that. But be sure to participate and help your guild. I know I haven't been doing that too often in my global version, but hey, I'm so busy with this one. This one's just so much fun. I know this video was kind of long. I just noticed that it's very long subject because there are so many ways you can hoard gold, so many ways you can farm gold, but because you need a lot of it. So there should be a lot of ways to farm gold. But yeah, those are all the ways I like to farm my gold. I hope I could help. Hope I was a help to you, because this is really, it's a hard subject because you need your gold for everything. You need it all the time. It's always going down. It's always going up, then it's always going down again. So you really do need a lot of it. But in the meantime, that's all the time I have. I hope you enjoyed my video. Remember to like and comment, and please do subscribe to my channel. I love uploading videos like this all the time. But anyways, that's all the time I got, my fellow gamers. Take it easy for me. Bye.